Hey, what's up, guys? And welcome back. Hope you are doing great today. And guess what? Exactly. I'm gonna read, you're gonna listen to me. So, we'll continue with the story started 2 days ago. It will be the third part, so let's begin. I folded up the paper flat, put it into my inside pocket, and went to Rufy's room. He was nearly dressed and was feeding the pig with the rest of the milk and some apple peelings. Well, 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 good morning, all, I says, heartily and amiable. Amiable. So, we are up, and Piggy is having his breakfast. What had you intended doing with that pig, Rufy? I'm going to create him up. Create. I'm going to create him up. Create up, says Rufy, and express him to Maine, Mount Nebo. He will be company for her while I'm away. He's a mighty fine pig, says I, scratching him on his back. You called him a lot of names last night, says Rufy. Oh well, says I. He looks better to me this morning. I was raised on a farm and I'm very fond of pigs. Very fond. Fond of. I used to go to bed at sundown, so I never saw one by lamplight before. Tell you what I will do, Rufy, I says. I'll give you $10 for that pig. I reckon I wouldn't sell this sword, says he. If it was any other one, I might. Why not this one? I asked. Sorry, guys. Why not this one? I asked, fearful that he might know something. Why? Because, says he, it was the grandest achievement of my life. There ain't airy, other man that could have done it. If I ever have a fireside and children, I'll sit beside it and tell them how their daddy taught it, taught it, taught it off, taught it off. A shot from a whole circus full of people, and maybe my grandchildren too. They'll be certainly be they will certainly be proud of whole Passel. Why? Says he. There was two tents, one opening into the other. This shot was a platform tied with a little chain. I seen a giant and a lady with a fine chance of bushy white hair in their other tent. In the other tent, I got this sword and crawled out, crawled out from under the canvas again without him squeaking as loud as a mouse. I put him under my coat, and I must have passed 100 folks before I got out where the streets was dark. I reckon I wouldn't sell that sword, Jeff. I'd want to keep it, so there'd be a witness to what I've done. Witness to what I've done. This pig won't live long enough, I says, to use as an exhibit in your senile fireside mendacity. Senile fireside mendacity. The whole phrase. Your grandchildren will I have to take your word of it. I'll give you $100 for the animal. Rufi looked at me astonished. Astonished. This shot can't be worth anything like that to you, he says. What do you want from him? What do you want him for? Viewing me casuistically, says I, with a rare smile. You wouldn't think that I've got an artistic side to my temper, but I have. I'm a collector of pigs. I've scored the worth of unusual pigs. Over in the Wabash Valley, I've got a hog ranch with most every specimen on it, from Merino to Apple in China. This looks like a blooded pig to me, Rufi, says I. I believe it's a genuine Berkshire. That's why I'd like to have it. I'd sure like to accommodate you, says he, but I've got the artistic talent too. What was the reward? $5,000 reward. Not bad. I'd sure like to accommodate you, says he, but I've got the artistic tenement. Two, I don't see why it ain't art when you can steal a shot better than anybody else can. Shots is a kind of inspiration and genius with me. Especially this one. I wouldn't take 250 for that animal. Now listen, says I, wiping off my forehead. It's not so much a matter of business with me as it is art, and not so much art as it is philosophy. Being a connoisseur and disseminator of pigs, I wouldn't feel like I've done my duty to the world unless I added that Berkshire to my collection. Not intrinsically, but according to the ethics of pigs as friends and coadjutors of banking. I offer you $500 for the animal. Jeff, says the pork estate. It ain't money, it's sentiment with me. 700, says I. Make it 800, says Rufi, and I will crush the sentiment out of my heart. I went under my clothes for money belt and counted him out 40 $20 gold certificates. I'll just take him into my own room, says I, and lock him up till after breakfast. I took the pig by the hind leg. He turned on a squeal like the steam Calliope at the circus. Let me tote him in for you. Tote in. says Rufy. And he picks up the beast under one arm, holding his snout, with the other hand, and packs him into my room like a sleeping baby. After breakfast, Rufy, who had a chronic case of haberdashery, alright, ever since I got this Straussy, his Straussy, says he believes he will unbile down to Miss Fitzkiss and look over some royal purple socks. And then I got as busy as one-armed man with the nettle rush pasting on wallpaper. I found an old Negro man with an express wagon to hire, and we tied the pig in a sack, and drove down to the circus grounds. I found George B. Tapley in the little tent with the window flap open. He was a fattish man with an immediate eye in a black skull cap, with the 4-ounce diamond screwed into the bosom of his red sweater. Okay, guys. See you tomorrow on the next part. Bye.